There's one fighter that really stand out to me that I tried to mold my style to, and that was Jens Pulver. He was one of the first hybrid guys that could wrestle and box. So Jens Pulver is probably my most influential fighter, the guy that I tried to emulate the most, as well as Dwayne Ludwig. I really like Dwayne Ludwig a lot as well. So I wanted to have Dwayne Ludwig kickboxing, but Jens Pulver wrestling and boxing. So those are like my two fighters, but number one is definitely Jens Pulver.
I really studied a lot on Machida, Anderson Silva, Sweet Pea, boxer, and then Mike Tyson. You know, so those are sort of my guys that I study their movement. I like the way Mike Tyson throws his punches, the way he hides his punches. Then I like the way Sweet Pea moves his head, how he's always doing stuff, and and the way he catches people. It's a little different than Mike Tyson. Then you got Anderson Silva, the way he moves, because I also got to translate it in MMA. So he helps me translate it in MMA, and also the way Machida fights. He's a southpaw, the way he gets in and out. I like that, and the way that he can control a lot of things with his movement.
When I first started watching the UFC, there were some fighters that really caught my eye, and Jens Pulver was one of them. Always loved watching Jens Pulver fight, always showed up, always gave it everything he's got. And for me, martial arts is about getting in there and putting on a fight and just trying to deal with your opponent as quickly as possible. And Jens Pulver always came to fight, so I would say Jens. I've always kind of picked and chosen from different people's styles, you know. Anybody that comes to fight, BJ is obviously a good pick as well, because he's just so well-rounded and so diverse, and always brings the fury to the octagon. I like that.
A Shogun, totally. The reason why is I started watching at a young age, and I was more of a Pride dude than I was a UFC guy. And at that time, that's when Shogun was like 22, 23. He was the youngest. He was the newer breed at that time. So that's who I kind of emulated. That's who I wanted to be, because he was a beast. He was just tearing people up.
Vanderlei Silva, because I started MMA, see Vanderlei top, and every time I train for see Semi Vanderlei and my brother Bruno Ninja.
It's tough to say. I think I'm my own person. You know, I don't think I fight really like anybody else. So I'd say no.
I just watch everybody, all the fighters who are doing well. You know what I mean, or who have strung together wins, or fighters that win. You know, I try to just blend all of them together to make my own style. You know, and then so I don't really have a particular guy that I'm like, I love you. You know, but maybe Ryan LaFleur. Ryan LaFleur is a he fights very similar to me, goes in, gets after it, respects all, fears none, you know, no holds barred, goes out there and gets after it. So I really love watching him fight.
To create my style, I watched a lot of other fighters, Muhammad Ali being one of them. If you ever watched Muhammad Ali, he always had his hands down. He moved around a whole lot, and there's nobody I don't see who has influenced boxing or the fight sport the way he did. So I think Muhammad Ali was definitely up there.
Biggest influence in my MMA career, I'm going to have to throw it to my Uncle Chucky. Chuck Liddell, he's awesome, dude. He's my favorite fighter, always has been, probably always will be. Man, I just sit back and I watch some of his old tapes and I'm still impressed. I'm still in awe. I'm like, man, the Iceman.
I always loved exciting fighters, you know. Love the guys that go out and try to win it, try to get out and get it, you know.
I would say the Emelianenko brothers, both Fedor and Alexander. You know, I really like them. Their calm demeanor, and you know, I just grew up watching both of their fights and really try to emulate their style.
I'd say the fighter that influenced me the most growing up was Stephen Thompson. I mean, I got a lot of my stand-up from him. You know, there's a lot of guys I looked up to, but as far as striking, which is my main thing, that's where I got a lot of it.
Who influenced me the most? I would say I get two fighters. I would definitely say Hendo and Brian Stan. Brian told me I got a way when I train sometimes. It's just like I push myself, but I won't push myself to the max. So Brian told me something one time. He was like, man, you're a tremendous athlete. But he was like, you got this much ounce of laziness that would separate you from the best. And, you know, I kind of took that to heart. And, you know, every time I go down there and I train with him, he was like, well, every time you're coming down here, you're getting better and better. And it just Hendo, just kind of training with him, just him being a legend and stuff, me going out to, you know, Temecula, tearing down at Team Crest. I mean, just training with him, just in general, it was good. I learned a lot of stuff from him, the dirty boxing type of deal. So, yeah.
Shane Carwin and Nate Marquardt as far as MMA goes. And as of recently, it'd be Hiron and Henner Gracie. So it's kind of, you got these different phases in your life where from the start I had Nate Marquardt and Shane Carwin kind of show me the ropes. Now I live in LA, and Henner and Huron are kind of my mentors out here.
Hey, this is Ariane Celeste.
This is Uriah Faber. UFC lightweight champ Anthony Showtime Pettis.
This is Dan Henderson. You're watching MMA Interviews.
MMA Interviews.
You're watching MMAinterviews.tv.